She just took a bath at home, but she accidentally traveled to a parallel world. Her loving husband and her children suddenly disappeared from her sight.
Alright, what do you want for lunches today?
Megan thought her family was playing hide-and-seek with her, so she happily searched the house. But she searched every corner of the house, but there was no sign of her husband and children. What made her feel even more strange was the alarm clock suddenly stopped at 7:05. Megan was puzzled by all this. At that moment, a few white lights appeared in front of her eyes. Furniture and appliances disappeared. Only the alarm clock was left floating in the air. Megan thought she was having a nightmare. The headache was so intense that she fainted. When she opened her eyes again, she found herself in a hospital bed. The nurse asked her how she was feeling. Megan was anxious to know what had happened. The nurse reported to the desk that the patient in room 610 had woken up. Soon a doctor arrived. He examined Megan with a torch.
Do you know where you are?
The hospital.
That's right. Listen, I know things are rather confusing for you right now. We're gonna call your parents, all right?
Soon Megan's parents arrived at the hospital. It was a miracle her daughter was awake.
Where's Thomas?
What?
Where's Thomas?
Who's Thomas?
My husband.
Her father said she wasn't married.
And my kids, where are they?
Kids?
Yes. Isabel and Dylan. Where are they?
Megan, listen to us. You are not married and you don't have any children.
Megan couldn't accept it. She had an enviable family. She was so emotional. The nurse rushed over to comfort her.
What happened to my family?
The doctor told the parents. Megan's condition was probably the aftermath of a coma. She thought her dreams were real. Megan learned from her mother. She was in a traffic accident 2 months ago. She was taken to the hospital and has been in a coma ever since. The doctors didn't even think she'd wake up.
I know that you are confused. Just don't forget how much we love you.
I know.
The next day, her parents discharged Megan, because she had been in bed for so long. Megan's muscles were a little stiff. Doctors told her to exercise and she'd recover. On the way there, Megan realized that she was back 10 years ago. The layout of her home was the same as it was 10 years ago. She couldn't wait to turn on her computer. The password was the same as she remembered. Megan searched for information about Thomas, but she didn't get the results she was looking for. Her best friend heard she was out of the hospital. She came to see her. Megan told her about the trip. It was so real. She didn't think Megan was crazy. They chose to believe her. They went to Megan's home 10 years later based on her memories, but it's still under construction. Megan hadn't seen her husband or children.
It's not here. His name is Thomas. He's 4 years to the day older than me. He loves photography and he's built up this amazing business with it, and he loves me and our children, Isabel and Dylan, and they get along and they have the most creative minds. This is not just a dream.
Her best friend rushed to hug her and comfort her. Her parents wanted Megan to see a therapist, so that she could understand the real world, so that her parents wouldn't have to worry. Megan agreed to see a therapist. After 2 weeks of therapy, Megan gradually began to adapt to life in this time and place. In this life, she didn't get married. She has no children. She had nothing to do with the good things that had happened to her. The doctor advised her to get a new job and turn her attention to other things, since she couldn't go back to her old life. Megan finally chose to give in to reality. She found a job as a photographer's assistant, but God played a joke on her. Megan's boss was no other than, it was Thomas.
Thomas.
It's you.
Yes, Thomas. You are...
Megan.
Megan thought he was her future husband. The calmness of her heart suddenly surged. The hands she held together became reluctant to part. Thomas took Megan through the application process. He obviously doesn't know Megan yet. Megan was listening to Thomas on the surface, but in reality, her eyes were fixed on him. She's not listening to what Thomas is saying. Thomas told Megan that her job was to book clients and scheduling them to come to the shoot.
I'm sorry, are you all right?
Yeah. I'm sorry, you just look so familiar.
And then the phone rang.
Berry Patch Photography, can I help you?
Megan turned around and pulled out her phone. She wanted to take a picture to share with her girlfriends, but the flash made her embarrassed. Megan pretended to be calm as she walked to the bar. She said she was taking pictures of the plants on the table.
The phone and the planner, so I don't forget where they are.
Okay,